Okay, good morning, everyone. A very quick run through today for our Frontier opening bell. I am Bosin Amafaye, and here with me, Onyeka Ichema, who is the head of industrial goods analysis at Vertiva Capital Management. Thank you so much, Onyeka.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just to start the show in looking at the equities market, finishing off yesterday across the Frontier Africa, the Nigerian market finished off in the green territory by 0.47%. We have a downside on the BRVM and the Egyptian market. The Nairobi market went up by 26 basis points. GSE soft landed by 0.02 negative, just a scratch there. Look at the East African market. Quite a couple of headline stories coming through in terms of the FX reserves of the Kenya, which was down because of that 35 billion paid to the Chinese in terms of the debt, which is good news, by the way. Pay down your debt, then you can move on. Vodafone CEO is hinting at a spinning off M-Pesa in the future, which is an iconic brand of Safaricom. That's Vodacom, Vodafone, and others step into the Ethiopian market, the Horn of Africa. Let's check in with Nigeria. Nigeria's inflation, interest rate, all of that coming together today for the central bank to decide on. But we got the earnings from one of the biggest banks in Africa, EcoBank Transnational, reporting 29% profit after growth to about 62.6 billion at first half of the year. One of the biggest banks in Nigeria reporting their earnings for the current season. Nigeria's insurance regulator, NAICOM, yesterday announced new board and management for NAICOM Insurance and Nigeria Re. Bank of Ghana held interest rates unchanged at 13.5%, while the Ghana Stock Exchange is looking at a new set of indices to track the country's bond market. And EBID, which is the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, listing a 6.50% 7-year bond on the BRVM. A very quick one, Onyeka. What's your take on around today's monetary policy? What's the thinking within Vertiva?
Yeah, I mean, the expectation is still the same. The expectation is still largely a hold. There's a lot that is still vying for the Monetary Policy Committee's attention, but at opposing ends of the spectrum, we have growth considerations, economic growth considerations, and at the other end of the spectrum, we have inflation. Inflation considerations. In recent months, we've seen some disinflation in the Nigerian space. As at the last inflation numbers, June inflation numbers came out at just over 17%, if I remember correctly. But we are still seeing, seriously high food inflation, even though it's coming down, and we are still seeing high core inflation numbers. So this will still be, of interest to the Monetary Policy Committee, to the Central Bank of Nigeria, and at the opposite end, they are worried about economic growth, which, in terms of economic growth, we are doing better than was projected, but we are still very slow. Economic growth is still much lower than historical averages. So these two factors will continue to vie for attention, and we expect the Monetary Policy Committee to maintain a hold on most monetary policy levers. Same as we saw in Ghana at 13.5%. Which is pretty much what was expected at the last one, but we saw a rate cut by about, I think it was, we saw a rate cut by either 50 to 100 basis points last time from the Bank of Ghana, but that was more. But we talked about it, and we had earlier analyzed that was more a statement from the Bank of Ghana saying that they wanted to focus on growth because the pass through to the actual economy was going to be very, very minimal. So here, we are back to normal. Everything is going to be a hold here. And we expect that to sort of ripple across West Africa and mostly across Sub-Saharan Africa also.
Interesting development as we see this pace out, but let's see what happens later today. Let's touch on Southern Africa because quite a number of headline stories are popping up aside the unrest and counting the cost of that particular unrest. A big suspension on Standard Bank, which is one of Africa's largest commercial bank, by Central Bank of Mozambique. That suspension in FX trading has been lifted. And any season, as Onyeka, you're talking about, this is one big American platinum reporting EBITDA around 385%. It's been a very good half year so far for this very big name within the mining industry. Similar numbers are expected from a number of other players within the mining industry. BlackRock Incorporated is looking to buy 5% stake in Old Mutual Limited. But again, Onyeka, when you look at central bank coming down hard on banks when it comes to foreign exchange misbehavior, what do you make of this?
I mean, this is something that regulation in the financial services space has always been the strongest, regulations across most African countries. Specifically in Nigeria, we tend to see the central bank play a really strong role in regulating the financial services sector. And, some even talk about over-regulation being a thing in the financial services space in sub-Saharan Africa. In terms of what happened with Standard Bank in Mozambique. I I vaguely remember that this suspensions these suspensions happened a while ago due to some issues with the regulator, and I think it's just positive for Standard Bank right now that this has come back into play, but they would have to err on the side of caution and have to put their house in order to ensure that this does not happen again. I'm a lot more interested in the metal mining story in Southern Africa. We've seen metal miners perform excellently over the past 1 year, at least since the start of the pandemic. We've seen metal prices surge as economies reopen. We started to see a lot more interest in demand for metal, and some major metals that are mined across Africa have seen such a significant demand glut that we are seeing supply chain issues, supply chain breakdowns, which has actually led to a surges in prices across different metals. This is playing out in the half year results for Amplats. I expect that most of the other miners would report very positive results also when that comes out.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of rat of earnings as you can expect. But again, talking to that particular story about the Mozambique central bank, I think every central bank is very sensitive when it comes to foreign exchange. If FX, especially in Frontier Africa, FX is very scarce to come by. So if you play with it, I think the central bank will just will not likely going to look kindly. So I guess that is it. Every central bank is sensitive when it comes to the dollar because they don't print it; you have to earn it. So maybe the U.S. central bank can afford it because they can go ahead and print. But for everyone else who earns it, well, we're a very touchy subject. Okay, let's finish off in North Africa because Egypt is reporting some better than some economic numbers in terms of inflow from the German Development Bank, about 41 million euros to support the economy. President Sisi okayed 5.5 million Kuwaiti dinars as a loan coming through. National Bank of Kuwait extraordinary EGM to review the voluntary delisting that they are thinking of on the EGX. Tunisia is in the throes of political turmoil right now, with the president sacking the head of government, with the prime minister suspends parliament. The stock market took a nosedive yesterday. You have any words out of this region, Onyeka, to sum it up for us this morning?
Yes, I have followed, some of the developments in Egypt, and I have to say, while we're seeing a lot of issues around foreign currency denominated loans. in most of sub-Saharan Africa, a lot of citizens are pushing against, government taking up more loans, even if it's, to, take on infrastructure projects. We're seeing quite the opposite in Egypt, and this is largely because there has been an improved trust in the government, and there has been, proper transparent use of this funding, especially for projects that tend to have, large multiplier effects.
Quite a whole lot, a lot of learning curve there, if you ask me, for some of other countries south of the Sahara, which you call sub-Saharan Africa. But that's what it is. Let's see how things move on when we return with another edition tomorrow of the show. Thank you so much. This is Frontier Optimum. Thank you, Onyeka Ijoma, head of industrial goods analysis at Vertebra Capital Management. Have a great day and see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye for now.